Hi everybody, welcome to Ask Dave Anything. My name is Dave Sheahan and I'm a plant-based triathlete and founder of Go Vegan Grow. And every single week I answer one of our followers' questions like this. So our question this week is coming from one of our Facebook group members. So we've many different groups. One of our group members has asked this question. And the title of this training is The Truth About Carbs. Eat high, eat low, or high. So let me just read out the question, and it's something I'm sure you and many others relate to because there's so much stuff out about carbs. Should you eat them? Should you not eat them? Are they good? Are they bad? Good carbs, bad carbs. Anyway, here's the question. Dave Sheahan, there's loads of stuff going on about carbs, whether to eat them or not, and if you eat them, what ones to eat, etc. I don't believe in cutting out food groups completely, but no, some carbs should definitely be avoided. Would like your thoughts on carbs. Okay, so let me just start by telling you this. Quite simply, we need carbs. So all these things out there telling you that you should not be eating carbs and you should be eating really low carbs is just ridiculous, okay? It's just totally ridiculous because our bodies are naturally designed to run off carbs. It's the same as petrol for a car. So a car needs petrol, or a diesel car needs diesel. It can't run without it. Same with our bodies. You know, we are designed to take in carbohydrate-based food to break it down then into eventually it breaks to glucose, and then our body then uses it for energy. That's what our body's naturally designed to use. It's not designed to use fat as fuel. It's not designed to use protein as fuel, the vitamins, minerals, the other different types of nutrients we consume. The only purpose of consuming carbohydrates is for energy. So to say that we shouldn't be eating carbs and they're dangerous and they gain so much fat is absolute rubbish because, as I said, we're physically designed to consume carbs. So get that out of your head immediately. Okay, so we need to consume carbs. Now, at the same time, be mindful of not consuming too much. We do live in a very sedentary world where people wake up, sit down for breakfast if they have one, or grab a coffee, sit down in the car, sit down at work, because most jobs these days are sedentary, whereas before it was out and about, moving, building, man work, farming, all that kind of stuff, walking, cycling to work. Now it's all sedentary. Most people then aren't that active from an exercise point of view. They sit down at home when they get home and they sit on the couch. So it's all sitting down, inactive, okay? So you need to control how much, because you take in, say, X amount of energy, let's say 100 units of energy, you use up 80 units of energy in the day, there's 20 units left over, it has to go somewhere. So then initially it gets stored in the liver, like storage, then it can be used again. But the reality is that for most people, they will never use their excesses. So the excesses eventually have to be converted to fat cells, okay? Just naturally, because our muscles contain lots of glucose and ready to be used. But because people are less active, then it reaches its fill, it reaches top point, overflow point very quickly, which means there's all this other energy floating around, and if you're not using it, it has to do something, so it gets converted to fat cells. That's why a lot of people gain weight, because they're gaining too much. That's where the whole thing about carbohydrates being bad for you and gaining fat, there's a tiny bit of truth in it, in that if you consume way too much, it will convert to fat eventually. Stress on eventually, it's not immediately. But for once you consume a normal carbohydrate-based diet, where you have carbohydrates with each meal, you have your normal 3, 4, or 5 meals, depending on what time you wake up, when you go to bed, so how many meals you should consume, how many carbohydrates you consume, it's not to be a problem. But if you're consuming loads and loads of them, and all your meals are just very heavily carb-based, and you're not very active, there's a good chance you're going to gain weight as a result. But it's a process that isn't immediate, not like you consume excess and then it's fat. It's excess stored for use. If then it's not used within a few days, it then goes through a process of converting to fat. Okay, hope that makes sense. So 1, carbs are not evil, carbs are not bad. There's no harm in consuming carbs. They're good for you. Our body needs it for energy. 2, it's only bad for you in terms of from a fat point of view. You'll only gain fat if you're consuming too many carbs. Okay, so once you consume a realistic amount, no problem, don't worry about it. And the more active you keep, the better. Just keep moving, okay? Third thing, is there a difference between carbs? Yes, especially in the modern world where there's so much convenience, there's so much crap, there's so much refined sugars. There's good foods and bad foods, okay? Good carbs, all your fruits, some vegetables, most vegetables have very minimal carbs, so some have a little bit. All your legumes, all your grains, all the different things like pastas and rice and potatoes and all those kind of foods. Beans and lentils, and those are a combo of protein and carbohydrates. Okay, so all those good foods, whole food, that's food designed to consume it. We need to consume it. So all these foods are great. Now, if you're instead having convenience meals, reheated meals, in terms of a package of chuck in an oven or in a microwave kills the food anyway, so don't use it. That's another story. packaged stuff. The more man has done to it, this is a simple rule. If man has done something to it, it's not in its natural form anymore. And the more man does it, the worse it gets. The less easy it is for us to break it down, and also the more chemicals and additives and everything needs to be added to it, and sugars to make it last longer. Okay, so what you want to do is eat food in as natural a form as you can. So keep your processed food and your convenience foods to an absolute minimum. Watch your refined sugars. This is where there's a huge difference between eating a Mars bar, for instance, or any chocolate bar, versus eating a banana. Yet people are being told you shouldn't be eating fruit because of all the sugar. Fruit is natural. It's grown. It's part of nature. It's part of our food. A Mars bar is created by a man, or woman, which is just sugar in a wrapper. Okay, you can't compare them. So this will gain fat, yes, because it's fast sugar into your body, way too much sugar, and it converts to fat fast. This is a banana, fiber, carbohydrates, good energy. It will get used for the way you're meant to use it. Okay, so you do not compare. So once you're consuming proper good carbohydrates, don't worry about it. If you're consuming lots of the crap carbohydrates, cut them down. There's no harm in having a few treats here and there, but cut them down. Don't consume too much of them. Okay, so to summarize again, the truth about carbs: eat low or eat high. Carbs are good for you, they're not evil. Carbs are a necessity for your body to run on energy, like petrol or diesel for a car. Think of it that way. So all these low carb diets are not good for you. Okay, the only caveat in that is for a week or two before something like a bodybuilding competition or some reason to have to cut, or if you want a quick burst before a holiday, doing it for a week or two, keeping low carb, does accelerate some fat burning. Okay, because your body's having to use more fat for fuel, but it's definitely not a long-term strategy. Okay, not a way to live whatsoever. I do it sometimes for a week or two with clients, but there has to be a real proper reason. So not bad for you. You need to eat them. Only source of energy. It's what your body needs. Number two, you don't worry about consuming too much of them, because if you're keeping somebody active, you'd want to consume a huge amount for it to end up causing you to put on fat. It's excess protein, excess fats in particular, all the crap and chemicals and toxins we're taking, and that's the reason for fat. Being more acidic than alkaline, that's the reason for fat. It's not necessarily carbs. But if you're very inactive, just be careful of how much you're eating. If you're consuming huge amounts, then you may actually store fat, okay? But it takes time, it's not overnight. And three, there's good carbs and bad carbs. Simple thing is, if it's nature, if it's proper food, it's good carb. If it's created by man, and the more and more it's processed, it's not good for you. Okay, so limit that. So hope that was you. If you have any further questions or comments, make sure you comment below the video. Love to read your comments, love to answer your questions. I welcome them, I love the engagement. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, whichever one you're watching it on. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure you like the page, that'd be fantastic. And most importantly, share this video. It's important to get this video out to as many people as possible, because there's so much rubbish out there. There's so much garbage and BS being spread all over the internet and by trainers and experts all over the shop. So it's important for people to learn real information. Like the reason a person had to ask me this question in the first place is because they're so damn confused. So help me get this out there so people know the facts, and then they can ask questions or place comments as well, so we can further educate them. But share it. As I said, subscribe. Also check us out across all social media, across Snapchat. Check out Dave Sheahan on Snapchat, Dave Sheahan page on my page, Go Vegan Grow page. That's on Facebook. Go to Instagram, Dave Sheahan 1978. All the links are below. Twitter, LinkedIn, the whole lot. We share different things on every single social media, so you get huge value by following it all. Okay, so make sure you put it into action what I've taught you, and remember, adopting a plant-based lifestyle is probably the best decision you will ever make. It was the best decision I've ever made in January 1st, 2012, and I've thrived since. So whatever your reason, Go Vegan Grow. Save animals, save yourself, save the planet. Take care, and I look forward to speaking to you on our next Ask Dave Anything.